Hello students, welcome to my lecture series on reinforced concrete structures. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about a continuation of our previous lecture on analysis of singly reinforced beams. The outcomes of today's lecture are, on completion of this class, you will be able to know what is the definition of limiting depth of neutral axis and how it can be calculated, and know what are the different types of RC beam sections, and according for that particular RC beam section you will be able to calculate what is the moment of resistance. Right. Let us recall our previous lecture. So in previous lecture we have discussed about calculation of moment of resistance using stress block parameter. You know, the moment of resistance can be calculated by using this stress block. What are the stress block parameters? Here compressive stress, this is compressive stress, compressive force, tensile force, and these are the lever arm, and this is centroid of a resultant compressive force from the extreme trough fiber of a stress block. How to calculate this? All these things we have discussed in our last class, right? Say this stress block is a composite of two different shapes, that is, one is a rectangular shape, another is a parabolic shape. We have calculated what is the compressive force acting in that rectangular portion of a stress block, and then we have calculated what is amount of compressive force acting in the parabolic portion of a stress block. We are assuming C1 for that particular rectangular portion and C2 for the compressive force in the parabolic portion. If we add together C1 plus C2, we will get what is the resultant compressive force, that is equal to 0.36 FCK B into XU. Then we have calculated what is the tensile force acting in the tension zone of this RC member, that is tensile force multiplied by tensile stresses multiplied by area of tension steel. So the tensile stresses are developed in this tension zone of a member is 0.87 Fy and multiplied by area of tension steel AST. From that we can calculate what is the tensile force. And here a lever arm is there, one of the other stress block parameter. A lever arm nothing but it's a distance between the line of action of two forces, that is compressive force and tensile force. Compressive force is a resultant compressive force which is acting in the compressive zone of the concrete member, and the tensile force which is acting tension zone of a RC member. The distance between these two is called a lever arm. That lever arm can be calculated by using this formula, and generally this lever arm represented with a capital Z, that is D minus 0.42 XU. Here D is nothing of effective depth of a beam. Effective depth of a beam. You know what is the definition of effective depth is, and minus 0.42 XU. XU is here actual depth of neutral axis. XU is actual depth of neutral axis. Here by using these two forces we can calculate what is the moment of resistance is. Yes, we have defined that moment of resistance is a couple due to this internally formed reactive forces. The internally formed reactive forces are compressive forces and tensile forces. Right. This moment of resistance can be calculated with respect to concrete as well as with respect to the steel. That means if you are calculating with respect to concrete means we are calculating with respect to in compressive zone. With respect to steel means we are calculating in tension zone. So the moment of resistance with respect to the concrete we can calculate, that is C into Z. What is C here? It is a resultant compressive force and Z is the lever arm, and that formula is a moment of resistance with respect to concrete is equal to 0.36 FCK B XU multiplied by Z. Z means D minus 0.42 XU. Similarly, we can calculate the moment of resistance with respect to the steel, that is tensile force multiplied by a lever arm. So the formula for that is 0.87 FCK AST into, it is not FCK, this is Fy, sorry, and D minus 0.42 XU. Now coming to our actual class today, a continuation of previous class, that is limiting depth of neutral axis. What do you mean by limiting depth of neutral axis? How it will be calculated? Those things we discuss in this today's class. So before approaching to this limiting depth of neutral axis, we will define what is the neutral axis. It is a neutral axis is an axis where bending stresses are neutralized. That means the stresses, bending stress and strain at that particular neutral axis will become zero. And what do you mean by depth of neutral axis? It's a vertical distance between top fiber of section to the neutral axis. So this is the top fiber of section. Suppose at the same height we have the top section of top fiber of a section, and this is the neutral axis. The distance between these 2 points or 2 levels, we can call it as, is called a depth of neutral axis. I am repeating, the definition of depth of neutral axis is a vertical distance between top fiber of section to the neutral axis. Right. Now let me define what is limiting depth of neutral axis, and also it is called a maximum depth of neutral axis. So how to obtain this limiting depth of neutral axis? This limiting depth of neutral axis can be obtained when concrete and steel reaches their maximum permissible strain at the same time. What do you mean by this? This I will explain with respect to this figure here, the strain diagram. So as we know that for our assumptions, what is the first assumption that we discussed in our class? That is, a plane section remains plane before and after bending. So from that I can conclude that our strain is linear, and at the same time we know that the maximum compressive strain or maximum permissible compressive strain in concrete is, that is 0.0035. At the same time we have one more strain in tension zone, that is a tensile strain. It should not be less than 0.87 Fy by Es plus 0.002. If strain in concrete and strain in steel reaches their maximum value at the same time, then this linear line of a strain diagram will exactly passes through the neutral axis. So this one, like this, it will intersect at the neutral axis exactly at the center. So the depth obtained between that outermost fiber of a section to the neutral axis, that is called a limiting depth of neutral axis or maximum depth of neutral axis, that can be represented with a XU max. Understood, dear students? Again I am defining and explaining that it is obtained when maximum strain in concrete and the strain in steel reaches their permissible values at the same time. Then only we get a limiting depth of neutral axis. The actual depth of that limiting depth of neutral axis can be calculated by using this diagram, that is again based on the principle of similar triangles. Here we have two triangles. This is one triangle. Above the neutral axis it will form one triangle. Below the neutral axis it will form another triangle. Above triangle is related to the compression zone. Below triangle related to the tension zone. See, if you write this principle of similar triangles here, I can write this width by this depth is equal to this width by this depth. As we know, the effective depth of this member, is small d. If I deduct this XU max from that, we'll get the depth of tension zone, that is d minus XU max. Right? By knowing all these parameters, let us apply the principle of similar triangles, that is 0.0035 by XU max is equal to 0.87 Fy by Es plus 0.002 whole by d minus XU. So, and if we rearrange the terms, then we get XU max by d minus XU max is equal to 0.0035 by 0.87 Fy by Es plus 0.002. Right. And finally, if we simplify further that equation, we will be getting XU max by d minus XU max equal to 0.0035 by 0.87 Fy whole by Es plus 0.002. Further simplification of that final equation we will get by XU max by d is equal to 0.0035 by 0.87 Fy by Es plus 0.0055. Right. If you substitute the Young's modulus value of a steel in this equation and Fy value of a steel in this equation, we can obtain what is the maximum depth of neutral axis, or I can say limiting depth of neutral axis. As we know that ES, Young's modulus of steel, is constant, that is 2 into 10 power 5 into Newton per mm square. So this is constant. Now tell me, on what parameters your limiting depth of neutral axis is depends on. It is depends on only, that is a grade of steel. Only grade of steel, not on other factors like size of the section, what type of load you are acting, and what type of concrete you are using. That will not depend upon these things. The type of sections, grade of concrete, type of load you are applying on that, it is independent of those things, but it only depends on what is that grade of steel only. By knowing the grade of steel, we can calculate what is the XU max, that is limiting depth of neutral axis, or maximum depth of neutral axis. So here we have different grades of steel. We have calculated that ready-made formulas for us how to calculate that limiting depth of neutral axis. As we finally obtained formula for calculating limiting depth of neutral axis is XU max by D, that is equal to 0.0035 by 0.87 Fy by ES whole plus 0.0055. Here, if you substitute, you can substitute what is the Young's modulus of a steel here, and for particular grade of steel, what will be the XU max? So if you use Fe250, that is for the Fe250, that XU max will be 0.53 D. For it is for given depth. Depth will be given to you, will be provided to you in the problem. For that problem, if you for the grade of steel, that is 0.53 D. For Fe415 steel, then the maximum depth of neutral axis can be calculated by using this equation, that is 0.48 D. For Fe500, that is 0.46 D. Right. Next, types of RCC beam sections. So these beam sections are classified based on their failure modes. Those are balanced section, under reinforced section, over reinforced section. So let us discuss one by one what is the balanced section is, and what is the under reinforced section is, and finally what is the over reinforced section is. Right. Let me discuss what is the balanced section. A section said to be a balanced section when the steel reinforcement reaches its yield strain, that is 0.87 Fy by ES plus 0.002, and the concrete reaches its maximum strain of 0.0035 at the same time. Then we can say that section is balanced section. Means the depth of the neutral axis, actual depth of the neutral axis, and the maximum depth of neutral axis, both are same. They are equal. See here, actually this is actual depth of neutral axis, and this is the maximum depth of neutral axis. For balanced section, this actual depth of neutral axis is equal to the maximum depth of neutral axis. When it can be achieved? It is achieved when the strain in concrete and strain in steel reaches their maximum permissible value at the same time. Then only we can reach. Here, the percentage of steel provided for this type of section are called limiting percentage of steel. Here, dear students, don't think that limiting means limited value. It is not a limited value. Limiting means here the maximum value. How much maximum we can provide. That is called a limiting percentage of steel. How much maximum percentage of steel we can provide for the section, that is called a limiting percentage of a steel. So here the section, this is a cross section of a beam. Here this is a strain diagram corresponding to this. Here concrete strain in concrete is 0.0035 and strain in concrete is steel is 0.87 Fy by ES plus 0.002. Right, they are attaining their maximum value. They are reaching from here, it is 0 and it is the maximum. For this here it is 0, it is the maximum value, and they are attaining at the same time. Then we can get a linear line which is passing through the neutral axis of a member and the vertical position of a vertical line of this strain diagram. They are all intersecting at a common point. Then only we can say that they are reaching at the same time. So those type of sections are called balanced section. So next, under reinforced section. Here the definition of under reinforced section is the providing the steel provided is less than that of balanced section. This means already we have discussed about the balanced section. So what is the amount of steel we have provided for balanced section? We are providing, if we are providing less than that steel in a particular section, then we can say that section of a beam is called under reinforced section. So in this section, as we are providing steel is very less compared to the balanced section, so steel will reaches its permissive value first, and then concrete is under strain. That means concrete will not reach its maximum strain value by the time steel reaches its maximum strain. Here that I will explain by using this figure here. So this is the rectangular cross section of a beam, and this is a strain diagram correspondingly. So this is a neutral axis. See here, the strain in steel reaches first. This is a 0 point of the strain, and this is the maximum point of the strain in tension zone. By the time the strain reaches maximum in the tension zone, see your concrete is still under the strain, still under the straining. It is not reaching its maximum value. That is, the strain at this particular point is less than your maximum strain, that is 0.0035. So that's why we can call it as a under reinforced section. So if you observe here, this is from here to here, it is a maximum depth of neutral axis, and from here to this point, this is the actual depth of a neutral axis. In this condition, and the condition of under reinforced section, your actual depth of neutral axis is less than the maximum depth of the neutral axis. That can be seen clearly from this figure. So this is your actual depth of neutral axis, and this is from this point to this point, the maximum depth of a neutral axis. If you observe these two, your actual depth of neutral axis is less than this, and limiting depth of neutral axis. As we are providing steel is less compared to your balanced section, and in this condition your steel will fail first. As steel is a ductile material, before failing it will expand or elongate. That means it will give a proper indication before failure of a structure. General, that's why we can use any RC construction that we can design only under reinforced section. Why we design under reinforced section means as we are providing less amount of reinforcement compared to our balanced section, then that point of view it is economical. And from safety point of view, as your steel is a ductile material, it will reaches in under reinforced section, it will reach its maximum strain value first before concrete reaches its reaches to the maximum strain value, right? That's why before failure of this particular ductile material that is called steel, it will give sufficient warning before of its collapse. So that's why we can prefer, the designer can prefer under reinforcement section. That is in terms of economy, in terms of safety also. And as we are, the failure occurs in this type of under reinforced section is tensile failure, so that we can calculate moment of resistance of a section with respect to the steel. So then we'll discuss what about over reinforced section. Here over nothing but you can say more than required. So here in this over reinforced section, steel provided is more than that of the balanced section. So generally balanced section is a ideal section. We are providing steel more than that. For this case, what will happen? For this case, as we are providing a steel more than the concrete, that means concrete will reach first its strain, then steel will reaches to the its maximum strain later. By the time concrete reaches its maximum strain, steel will not reach. So from this figure, it is clearly shown that, so this is a concrete, it is a concrete strain 0.0035. By the time it reaches to maximum value, so here if you see this line, the steel will not reach maximum value, maximum strain. That's why we can call it as a over reinforced section. So from this I can say, see here, if you observe the depth of neutral axis, actual depth of neutral axis, and the maximum depth of neutral axis. So this is the actual depth of neutral axis, and this is a maximum depth of neutral axis. Up to this only we can have the depth of neutral axis. Beyond that, if you have means, that is a failure structure only. We cannot design beyond that actually. But if you use the steel more than the required, what will happen? We are discussing here. See, according to this strain diagram, we can our strain diagram of over reinforced section, we can say that your actual depth of neutral axis is greater than maximum depth of neutral axis. So in this case, what I said here, steel concrete will reach first to its maximum strain. Then by the time concrete reaches its maximum strain, steel will not reach to maximum strain. So the failure occurs in this section is a compression failure. So compression failure means here it is a brittle failure. So if structure collapse because of this over reinforced section, it will not give any warning before collapse. So that's why in limit state method of design, these over reinforced sections are avoided. Any designer will not recommend you to provide over reinforced section. It is not safe, it is not economical, as well as unsafe. It is uneconomical because we are providing more reinforcement. It is unsafe because the failure we have is compressive failure, that is nothing but a brittle failure. It will not give sufficient warning before collapse. It will collapse all of a sudden. Then there may be a chance of lot of damage. As it is a compression failure, so in compression zone we have a concrete. So moment of resistance of this particular section we can calculate with respect to the concrete. Right. The next topic is a limiting moment of resistance. As we have a limiting depth of neutral axis, the moment of resistance corresponding to the maximum depth of or a limiting depth of neutral axis is called limiting moment of resistance. You know, actual normal, how to calculate normal moment of resistance? That is a compressive force multiplied by a lever arm with respect to the concrete. When you are calculating moment of resistance with respect to concrete, you should use this equation, that is a total compressive force in concrete multiplied by its lever arm. Generally, that formula will be 0.36 FCK B into XU into D minus 0.42 XU. But we are designing, we are calculating the moment of resistance with respect to the maximum depth. So in place of actual depth of neutral axis, we have to substitute what is that maximum depth of neutral axis, x, that is XU M max. So the final formula, the limiting moment of resistance with respect to the concrete is, that is 0.36 FCK B XU max into D minus 0.42 XU max. Similarly, we can calculate limiting moment of resistance with respect to the steel, and T is a tensile force, Z is your lever arm, that is 0.87 FYAST into D minus 0.42 XU max. Simply our previous formula you have to substitute, that is a moment of resistance we have calculated in our previous classes with respect to the actual depth of neutral axis. Here we are calculating limiting moment of resistance, that means maximum moment of resistance of a particular section. Then obviously we have to substitute what is the maximum depth of neutral axis in that formula. By using that we can calculate what are the limiting moment of resistance. Here we have some ready-made equations for calculating limiting moment of resistance. This will be more useful for your competitive examinations if you remember all these formulas. It is easy to remember or easy to calculate also. So see here, for different grade of concrete and for different grade of steel, they are given how to calculate the limiting moment of resistance or the maximum moment of resistance like this. How you obtain this formula? So I have given one example for obtaining this formula. You can try for remaining also. So I have chosen a particular grade of concrete as a particular grade of steel, that is Fe415, and as you know, for Fe415 the maximum depth of neutral axis is 0.48 D. Right. If you want to calculate the ultimate moment of resistance or limiting moment of resistance, or I can say maximum moment of resistance, that is 0.36 FCK B into XU max into D minus 0.42 XU max with respect to the concrete I am talking. Right. Say if I substitute, I am using here what grade of concrete here? That is FCK, and I am using the steel of Fe415. I am using the steel of Fe415. So if you substitute all those values here, that is 0.36, FCK remains FCK and B is B, and in place of this XU max, according to the steel grade, it will vary. So when we are using Fe415 steel, it will be the value of the maximum depth of neutral axis is 0.48 D. You have to substitute this value here and then multiplied by lever arm, that is D minus 0.42 into again XU, in place of XU you have to substitute 0.48 D. If you simplify this, we will get what is 0.138 FCK BD square. What is this? It is the limiting moment of resistance for a grade of steel Fe415. See here, in general condition for Fe415 steel, it would be how much? 0.138 FCK BD square. You can try it for Fe250, you can try it for Fe500 also. So if you want to calculate the limiting moment of resistance for a particular grade of concrete, just for given a cross section of a beam, if you substitute those cross-sectional dimensions and a grade of concrete, you can calculate what is the limiting moment of resistance of a particular grade of a concrete and for given grade of steel and given cross-sectional dimension of a beam. So this will be very much useful for you to for your competitive examination. So the short formulas for calculating limiting moment of resistance. Next, when we have the limiting moment of resistance, we have a limiting tensile steel also. So what do you mean by limiting tensile steel? The limiting tensile steel nothing but it is a percentage of tensile reinforcement corresponding to the limiting moment of resistance. That means that percentage of the tensile steel can be calculated with respect to the limiting moment of resistance. Right. We know that for calculating the limiting tensile steel or maximum percentage of tensile steel in a section, we have to equate compressive and tensile forces. We know what is the compressive forces, that is 0.36 FCK B into XU, that is equal to 0.87 Fy AST. From this equation we can calculate what is AST is. AST is nothing but 0.36 FCK B into XU by 0.87 Fy. So you know what is the normal procedure for calculating percentage of steel. So percentage, how we calculate percentage of steel? That is, we know the area of steel, that is AST in the section, and we know what is the cross-sectional dimension of the total beam. So that is area of steel by beam cross-section multiplied by 100, that will give the percentage of steel. Right, that will be equated to this AST and this AST, this area of the percentage area of steel and this area of steel, both are same. Right. In this equation, if you substitute, already we have calculated AST by equating compressive and tensile forces. You substitute that, we'll get final equation, that is P percentage is equal to 0.36 FCK B XU by 0.87 Fy B into D, that is whole multiplied by 100. So this is normal percentage of a steel in a section. Here I want to calculate what is the limiting percentage of tensile steel corresponding to the limiting moment of resistance. So to calculate that, in place of XU, I want to substitute what is XU max. If I substitute XU max in this equation, I will get finally limiting percentage of steel. So that is the maximum amount of steel that we can use in the member according to their dimensions, grade of concrete and area of steel given. Right. So this is how calculate limiting tensile steel. Right. So next is steps for calculating moment of resistance by using all those concepts what we discussed so far. For balanced section, how to calculate the moment of resistance. For over reinforced section, how to calculate the moment of resistance. For the under reinforced section, how to calculate the moment of resistance. After analyzing the beam, if you are know that the beam is under reinforced section, then how to calculate the moment of resistance for that particular moment of resistance for particular beam, we can calculate by following step. The first step for calculating the moment of resistance is calculation of actual depth of neutral axis. So you know the actual depth of neutral axis can be calculated by equating total compressive forces and total tensile forces acting on the beam. That is, for given grade of concrete, and for given grade of steel and area of steel provided, from that we can calculate what is the depth of neutral axis is. That is, actual depth of neutral axis XU is equal to 0.87 FYAST by 0.36 FCK into B. Right? From this we can calculate what is the actual depth of neutral axis. Then we can calculate what is the limiting depth or maximum depth of neutral axis in second step, that is XU max. Again, I have discussed that can be calculated by using a grade of steel, as our maximum depth of neutral axis is depends upon only grade of steel, not on other factors. So from given grade of steel we can calculate what is the maximum value of a maximum depth of a neutral axis. Suppose in the problem if he gives Fe415, then corresponding depth of limiting depth of neutral axis is 0.48 d. Like that you can use from this table. And third step is we have to compare XU and XU max. We have calculated actual depth of neutral axis XU in your first step, and we have calculated what is the maximum depth of neutral axis in your second step. Compare those and establish the relationship between them. If you are getting that actual depth of neutral axis is equal to the maximum depth of neutral axis, then we can get balanced section. For this balanced section, we can calculate limiting moment of resistance with respect to compression or with respect to tension. That is, limiting moment of resistance with respect to compression is 0.36 FCK B XU max into D minus 0.42 XU max. And with respect to steel or with respect to tension zone is limiting moment of resistance is 0.87 Fy AST into D minus 0.42 XU max. If the second relation established, that is, if actual depth of neutral axis is less than the maximum depth of neutral axis, then that section is called it as a under reinforced section. Then as under reinforced section, our steel will fails first. So we have to calculate the moment of resistance corresponding to the steel, right? The limiting moment of or maximum moment of resistance with respect to the under reinforced section can be calculated, that is 0.87 Fy AST into D minus 0.42 XU max. The last condition is if XU is greater than XU max, that means actual depth of neutral axis is greater than maximum depth of neutral axis, then that particular section of a beam is categorized as over reinforced section. So over reinforced section fails in compression, so it is a sudden failure, means sudden failure occurs in brittle material. Here the brittle material is concrete, so we have to calculate the ultimate or maximum moment of resistance or limiting moment of resistance can be calculated with respect to the compression. So that formula is 0.36 FCK B XU max into D minus 0.42 XU max. So after establishing the condition, and we have to conclude that we have to decide what type of section it is. Based on the section, we have to use the moment of resistance formula, and finally we can calculate what is the moment of resistance is. So this is all the concept of calculating moment of resistance for a singly reinforced rectangular beam. By using all those concepts, now we'll solve some problems on this today's lecture. Right. So let us take the first problem. Find the moment of resistance of a singly reinforced rectangular beam of 200 by 460 mm effective depth, reinforced with 3 bars of 16 mm diameter, and the grade of concrete used is M20 and the grade of steel used is Fe415. So according to the problem, we have to write our given data, that is must, so that the problem can be easily solved. Right? Read the problem carefully, whether he has given overall depth or effective depth. Don't confuse here. Most of the students will confuse here only. He may give overall depth. Sometimes the students may substitute that overall depth as a effective depth. So be careful here. So he has given that the width of the beam is 200 mm and effective depth of the beam, he has mentioned that effective depth of the beam is 460 mm, and he has given grade of concrete, the corresponding M20 grade concrete, the characteristic compressive strength of the concrete is 20 Newton for mm square, and the grade of steel given is 415. So the yield strength of that particular steel is 415 Newton for mm square. These are the given data, and also given that 3 bars of 610 mm diameter. So from this we can calculate what is the area of tension steel is. So how to calculate this area of tension steel? Generally, steel bars having cross section of a circle. You know how to calculate area of a circle. So that is pi by 4 d square. And how many number of bars are there? Say n number of bars are there. For calculating area of steel in tension, that is n multiplied by pi by 4 into d square. That is the formula for calculating area of steel. So here in the problem, it is given that 3 number of bars are given and diameter of bar given is 16 mm. So 3 into pi by 4 into 16 square, we can get the area of tension steel is 603.2 mm square. So according to the first step, what is our first step? I have to calculate what is the depth of neutral axis. The depth of neutral axis can be calculating by equating the compressive force and tensile force. Finally, we will get this formula. Xu is equal to 0.87 Fy AST by 0.36 FCKB. You know what the terms here? Fy is yield strength of a steel, AST is area of tension steel, FCK is the characteristic compressive strength of a concrete, and B is width of the beam. If you substitute all those parameters here, we will get what is the actual depth of neutral axis. Here 0.87 in place of Fy substitute 415, area of steel we got from our previous calculation is 603.2 and 0.36 multiplied by FCK, that is grade of concrete, that is 20, width of the beam given is 200. Finally, we can get the actual depth of neutral axis Xu is equal to 151.24 mm. Now in second step, we have to calculate limiting depth of neutral axis. So the grade of steel given is Fe415. According to this table, the maximum depth of neutral axis will be for a given grade of steel Fe415, that is 0.48 D. And D is here effective depth. The effective depth given in the problem is 0.48, that is 460 mm is effective depth. If you multiply 0.48 with 460 mm, then you will get what is the maximum depth of neutral axis, that is equal to 220.8 mm. This is all about your second step. In third step, you have to compare both actual depth of neutral axis and the limiting depth of neutral axis. Actual depth of neutral axis is 151.24 mm and maximum depth of neutral axis is 220.8 mm. See here, your maximum depth of neutral axis is more compared to the actual depth of neutral axis. The relation established between these two is Xu is less than Xu max. According to the condition, it is categorized as a under reinforced section. So under reinforced section fails in under reinforced section, steel will fail first than the concrete. So we have to calculate moment of resistance with respect to the steel, that is moment of resistance with respect to steel is Mr is equal to 0.87 Fy AST into Z. Here the formula for moment of resistance with respect to steel is 0.87 Fy AST into D minus 0.42 Xu. Here the students don't confuse that. In the problem he was asked just calculate the moment of resistance. He has not asked limiting moment of resistance. So he has mentioned just moment of resistance means you have to use just actual depth of neutral axis only. If he specifically ask you to calculate what is the limiting moment of resistance or ultimate moment of resistance or the maximum moment of resistance, if we use this kind of words in the problem, then in place of Xu you have to substitute what is the Xu max is. Xu max value is substitute. So according to this, if we substitute that AST, Fy and Xu value, we will be getting that maximum, that moment of resistance with respect to the under reinforced section is 86.34 kilonewton into meter. And we have another problem here, which is somewhat different from first problem. An RCC beam of size 200 mm by 400 mm effective depth is reinforced with a 3 bars of 16 mm dia of a steel grade is Fe415, and for this find the ultimate distribution load which the beam can carry safely over a span of 5 meter, and take grade of concrete is M20. So clearly first before approaching the solution, first clearly understand the problem. What are parameters are given, what we have to calculate. Here the given parameters are B given, effective depth given, grade of concrete given, grade of steel is given, and number of bars given, and diameter of bars also given. But is unlike our previous problem, he has not mentioned us to calculate what is the moment of resistance is. But in the inside the problem, he has asked to calculate what is the ultimate distributed load that we have to calculate. So by using the data, we have to calculate the moment of resistance. The amount of moment of resistance having that particular reinforced member, what amount of load, uniformly distributed load it can carry. So that we have to calculate. I am repeating here. By obtain moment of resistance, it has some moment of resistance in it. By this moment of resistance, what amount of design load or ultimate distributed load it can carry safely over a span of 5 meters length. That ultimate load, uniformly distributed load, we have to calculate. So the given B is equal to 200 mm, D is equal to 400 mm, FCK is 20 Newton for mm square, Fy is 415 Newton for mm square. It has given 3 bars of 16 mm diameter, so 3 into pi by 4 into D square will get 603.2 mm square. Right. As usual, we have to calculate what is the moment of resistance. For calculating moment of resistance, you know what are the steps you have to follow. So first step will be calculate depth of neutral axis. This depth of neutral axis can be calculating by using this formula, that is x equal to 0.87 Fy AST by 0.36 FCK into B. If substitute all those parameters, we will be getting what is XU value is XU equal to 151.24 mm we got. And second step, we have to calculate what is the limiting depth of neutral axis. This limiting depth of neutral axis can be calculated based on the grade of steel given. The grade of steel given is Fe415. The corresponding limiting depth of neutral axis is 0.48 D. Here D is effective depth of a neutral axis, effective depth of a beam, and effective depth of beam as given is 400 mm in the problem. So from that, if you calculate the if you multiply 0.48 with the 400, we will be getting the actual maximum depth, the maximum depth of neutral axis is 192 mm. Now we have to compare XU and XU max. XU is 151.24 mm and XU max is 192 mm. Among this, compare that XU is less than XU max, so we can say that from this condition our section is under reinforced section. So we know when the section is under reinforced section, how to calculate the moment of resistances. The moment of resistance calculated with respect to the steel, because steel will fail before concrete fails. So MR equal to 0.87 Fy AST into D minus 0.42 XU. If substitute what is the Fy value, AST value and XU value is, we will get 73.28 kilonewton into meter. So according to the data, the moment of resistance of that particular section is 73.28 kilonewton into meter only. Having this moment of resistance, how much ultimate load it can carry, that we have to calculate. As given in the problem that it is a simply supported beam, let us say assume that it is a simply supported beam and is subjected to a UDL over a entire span. The span length is given is 5 meters. You know, when you condition in your slope and deflections when you are calculating bending moment and your strength of material subject, when a simply supported beam subjected to UDL throughout the section, the maximum bending moment will occur at the center. That the value of bending moment will be WL square by 8. So this maximum bending moment should be resisted by our moment of resistance. So that means that maximum bending moment must be equal to the moment of resistance of a section. From that I can write condition WL square by 8 equal to moment of resistance. From this I can write WU is the ultimate UDL, uniformly distributed load. I can say that is MR into 8 by L square. You know what is the L value, you know what is the MR value. If substitute that, we will be getting the ultimate uniformly distributed load is equal to 23.45 kilonewton per meter. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you. Hope all of you enjoyed my lecture. Thank you again.